Hey, what's up, YouTube? How's it going, LA Kings fans? Go Kings! So, I wanted to give you another update about what's going on with the LA Kings. They played a game on Saturday against the Washington Capitals, the best team in the NHL right now. Although the Capitals have been sliding a little bit lately, and sure enough, the Kings were able to beat them 4-2, which is a really good win for the Kings, especially since they fell behind again in this game, 1-0 and 2-1. But the Kings got goals from Marian Gaborik, Anze Kopitar, Jeff Carter into an empty net, and the first career goal and the game-winning goal was scored by Adrian Kempe, a 20-year-old forward who was drafted, I believe it was in 2015 by the Kings, and he projects to be a top six forward. He's been up with the Kings for about 2 weeks now, and this was his first career goal. So congratulations to the kid. It was really good to see him score, and it was a really nice win for the Kings. They had yesterday off, and then tonight they play against the St. Louis Blues, and then tomorrow they play the Arizona Coyotes, both at Staples Center. It's a rare back-to-back home game series for the Kings, which apparently a lot of teams are doing this year because of the condensed schedule. So teams are getting back-to-back home games, which is unusual, but that's what's happening. So the Kings play the Blues tonight, which is a really important game for the Kings. The Kings trail the Blues by 3 points for the final wild card spot, so this is an important game for LA. If they win in regulation, they'd be just 1 point out. If they lose in regulation, they would be 5 points out. So that's not really good. We need to get the win. We need to beat St. Louis in regulation. And then we need to take care of business against Arizona tomorrow, who is still a rebuilding team. They're not very good right now. So the Kings certainly need to keep up their energy and beat them tomorrow night as well. So we'll see how it goes tonight and tomorrow. The Kings need to beat St. Louis in regulation tonight and not give them any points. And it would certainly be good to beat Arizona tomorrow and come out of these back-to-back home games with 4 points. Kings really need to do that. In other news, on a more personal level, my amazing girlfriend yesterday found out that the Kings were hosting a birthday party for Bailey at the Discovery Cube LA. Discovery Cube is kind of like an interactive kids science museum. So it's a really interesting place. They have a big science of hockey exhibit that is put on by the Kings where you can learn about how ice is made and you can sit in a penalty box. You can look at a Zamboni and sit in the driver's seat. You can sit in the locker room, all that kind of stuff. So it's a very cool, interactive science of hockey type exhibit. You can try and skate and beat either Bailey or Dustin Brown in a skating match. I didn't do too good, but that's okay. Not much of a skater. So it's a really cool place, and apparently the Kings and Bailey go there about once a month or so, is what members of the ice crew were telling me yesterday. Bailey, if you don't know, is the Kings mascot. He's like a big lion. He is 10 years old now, apparently. I believe the Kings came up with the idea for Bailey a few years after 9/11. Two members of the Kings staff died on 9/11. Garnet Ace Bailey and Mark Bavis were on one of the planes that struck the World Trade Center on 9/11, and they both passed away, obviously. And the Kings came up with the idea for Bailey, I believe it was in 2006, and he debuted in 2007. So this is his 10th birthday. It was a really cool event. It was mostly kids, of course, but what really was interesting to myself and my girlfriend was that the Kings also brought out Nickson and Daryl Evans, who are the Kings radio broadcasters. I actually met Daryl Evans a couple of years ago at a Kings practice at the Toyota Sports Center in El Segundo. So that was really cool. I only had a minute or so to talk to him that time. And I met Nickson along with my girlfriend and my roommate about a month ago at the NHL All-Star Fan Fest that was held at the LA Convention Center adjacent to Staples Center in conjunction with the NHL All-Star game that happened at the end of January. So I got to speak to Nick for a minute at that event, he was hosting some question and answer sessions with players. One guy that I saw was Ryan McDonough, the defenseman and the captain of the New York Rangers, which was cool. But what we were really there to see was Drew Doughty, the NHL's reigning Norris Trophy winner and the Kings' best defenseman. Got to meet him too. He had a question and answer session with the crowd. There was probably 75 people in the audience, somewhere around there. I got to ask him a question, which was cool. I asked him about what it was like to play for Coach Daryl Sutter. He, of course, gave a very diplomatic response, something along the lines of, well, he's a tough coach, but he's a good guy, and he uses me as an example because I'm one of the team leaders, and but he gets a lot out of us, and so that was kind of the response I expected to get from Drew, and that's what he said. But it was cool that he answered my question. But yesterday's event was cool because there was not too many people there. There were maybe 15, 20 people. Most of them had little kids with them. My girlfriend and I did not have any children with us. So we were able to actually get a little bit more one-on-one time with both Daryl and Nick. We spoke to Daryl for a couple of minutes, asked him how things were going, etc. I was about to ask him about the miracle in Manchester. For any of you who are not familiar, back in 1982, the Kings were in a playoff series against the Edmonton Oilers. Yes, the Wayne Gretzky Edmonton Oilers. They fell behind 5-0 in a game, but they came back to tie the game, and then Daryl Evans scored in overtime to win the game for the Kings, and the Kings would go on to eliminate Edmonton in that series. The game is called the Miracle in Manchester. Daryl is, of course, a very famous part of the Kings because of that goal, and he's also the color analyst along with Nick Nickson as the radio play-by-play guy. So they were there. We spoke to Daryl for a few minutes, but then he kind of got called away by staff members from the facility that we were at. And then a little while later, Nick Nickson showed up, and my girlfriend and I got up and talked to him and had a nice 5 or 10 minute long conversation. We were talking about how the Kings have been playing and what chances they have of getting into the playoffs, how they were playing St. Louis this week. We talked about some of the rising young stars in the league, such as Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. And we also talked about how Bob Miller is doing, and Nick reported that Bob is doing very well and seemed to be in good spirits, and his health is improving, which is all wonderful news. I asked Nick if he had any idea what the Kings intended to do next year and going forward as far as a television play-by-play announcer. I wasn't surprised that Nick didn't have a response for me. He said they will probably talk about that in the summer. I asked Nick if it was possible that he would move to the TV booth, and he said anything's possible, so we'll see what happens. So it was a really nice conversation, and I got autographs from both Daryl and Nick. They were giving out autographed signed photos, and I also had a Daryl Evans hockey card that I've had for a while that I got Daryl to sign, so that was cool. We got to meet Bailey, and we got to meet Kingston, the Ontario Reign mascot. He's a big snow leopard. The Reign are the LA Kings minor league farm team, so they play in Ontario, California, very close to LA. So both of the mascots were there, and that was fun. We got to meet them and had pictures taken with them and pictures taken with Nick and Daryl, and so it was a really fun experience. And I'm very thankful to my wonderful girlfriend Martha for finding out about that and making the arrangements and getting us down there, and we had a really good time. So that's it. That's what's going on with the Kings. They play St. Louis tonight, like I said, and then Arizona tomorrow. I will get another video up maybe tomorrow between these two games. Probably more likely it'll be after both of the games. So we'll talk to you soon. Please like my videos. Feel free to post comments. I'm always happy to engage with Kings fans or anybody who watches my videos, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.